Ever wonder how your favorite show just streams perfectly? No buffering. Or how a brand new app can suddenly get 1 million users overnight and not crash? Well, the answer, a lot of the time, is this kind of hidden engine that's running a huge part of the internet. Amazon Web Services. You might hear it called AWS. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see what it's all about and why it's such a big deal.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. How can, say, 3 people working out of a garage launch something that can reach the entire planet on day one? Just a couple of decades ago, that would have been total science fiction. But that question right there gets to the very heart of the revolution that AWS kicked off.
Before the cloud, trying to launch an app was just a massive, expensive headache. It was this super slow, hardware-heavy process. But now, you can literally launch a global-scale application in a few minutes, right from your laptop. The difference is it's unbelievable. It's night and day.
So to really appreciate just how big of a deal this is, let's take a quick look back at how things used to be done. It was a world of really high costs and, honestly, super slow progress.
This right here gives you a sense of the sheer physical and financial weight of the old way. You actually had to go out and buy these big, expensive physical servers. You needed a special, secure, air-conditioned room, a whole data center, just to put them in. This meant a giant upfront investment in cash. It was a huge barrier to entry for anyone who wasn't already a massive company.
And this just lays out how painfully slow it was. First, you'd have to order, and then wait for your servers to arrive. Then, you'd spend weeks, maybe even months, setting up the whole facility. And finally, you had to hire a team of people to manage it all. And get this, all of that happened before you wrote a single line of code for your actual business idea. It was crazy.
And then, everything changed. Amazon Web Services showed up with a completely different way of doing things, and it just turned that whole old, slow process completely on its head.
So what is AWS at its core? The easiest way to think about it is like a giant global virtual tech store. You can just rent servers, storage, databases, whatever you need, right over the internet. So instead of buying your own car, you're just calling an Uber whenever you need a ride. Amazon handles all the messy maintenance stuff. You just use it.
And this is the idea that changed absolutely everything. The pay-as-you-go model. It works just like your electricity bill. You only pay for what you actually use. Suddenly, you didn't need millions of dollars in the bank to get your idea off the ground. This one concept basically democratized technology for everybody. But, the money part was only half the story. The other half was about pure, incredible speed. And this is where the cloud goes from just being a good idea to being a truly revolutionary force.
Remember that old, painful 3-step process? Buying servers, building data centers, all that? Okay, now compare it to this. With AWS, you create an account, and with a couple of clicks, you launch a virtual server. That's it. We're talking about going from months of work down to just a few minutes.
And the result of that? Your idea, your website, your app, it can be live and ready for the entire world to see in less time than it takes to go grab a cup of coffee. That, right there, is the incredible power we're talking about.
Now, it's important to know that AWS isn't just one single thing. It's much better to think of it like a massive digital toolbox with a specialized tool for pretty much any job you can possibly imagine.
We're about to look at a few of the most common tools, and you're going to see some weird acronyms. But listen, don't worry about memorizing the names right now. For real. The key thing is to just get the basic idea behind what each one does.
Okay, first up is EC2. Think of this as the engine. It's the absolute workhorse of AWS. At its simplest, it's just a virtual computer, a server that you rent. This is where you run the actual code for your website or your application. It's the brains of the operation.
Next up, we've got S3. So if EC2 is the engine, S3 is like your infinite storage locker. It's like a massive hard drive that lives on the internet. Every time you see a profile picture on a social media app or watch a video on a news site, yep, there's a really good chance that file is being stored in S3.
And finally, for our little tour, there's RDS. See, every complex app needs a way to organize all its information, things like user accounts or product lists. That's what a database is for. Well, RDS is a service that handles all the complicated, annoying work of running that database for you, so your developers can just focus on building cool stuff.
So that's a quick look at the technology, but the real story here is how this tech has completely reshaped our world and the incredible opportunities it's created for people.
So who's actually using AWS? The short answer is pretty much everyone. From those fast-moving startups to the biggest corporations in the world, from your favorite streaming services to government agencies, they all build on AWS. It has become the basic foundation of the modern internet.
And because literally everyone is using it, learning these skills opens up some amazing career paths. Getting good at AWS can lead you directly to high-demand jobs like a cloud engineer, a DevOps engineer, or a cloud administrator. These are the people who are building and maintaining our digital world.
And this slide really boils it down to a simple but powerful equation. Understanding the cloud isn't just some abstract technical skill anymore. It's a direct path to a secure, valuable, and really high-impact career.
I love this quote because it just cuts through all the hype. At the end of the day, AWS isn't magic. It's just the next logical step. It's taking all the difficult, slow, and expensive parts of building things online and just making them smart, fast, and available to anyone with a good idea.
So, we've seen how AWS completely transformed the way we build things online. It's laid down a whole new foundation for innovation. The only question left is, with all this incredible power right at your fingertips, what are you going to build?